Namaste. Some people worry that this technique might erase their past or change them in ways that they don't like. It won't. This is a powerful process. I understand when people are concerned. Know this. The events of your life happened. This isn't about denying that. It's about restructuring how you relate to those events so that they no longer limit you. You're not deleting anything. You're transforming it. And if, for any reason, you don't like the change, you can always change it back. It's less about trying to believe something new and more about realizing that the old belief no longer makes sense. Here's a short meditative practice that may be transformative. Please make yourself comfortable. We'll start by taking a few deep breaths, and you're welcome to follow my guidance or just breathe on your own. We'll do a 4-6 breathing technique and then flow straight into the meditation. On your next breath in, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, allow yourself to relax fully into the present moment. Resume your natural breathing. To begin with, think of a time when you were in flow, a time when you felt resourceful, like any internal resource you needed was available to you. Maybe it was a moment when you were completely focused, confident, and capable. Model that state by noticing how you experienced it. When you remember it, are you fully immersed in the memory, or are you observing yourself from the outside? What do you see? What do you hear? How does it feel? Notice the brightness, the colors, the space around you. The structure is important because you're going to use it later on. The next thing I would like to invite you to do is identify your limiting belief. It could be something like, I'm not good enough, or I can't make money doing something I enjoy. Then ask yourself, how do I know this is true? What experiences have I had that makes this belief feel real? Single out the one experience that has had the most influence in causing you to believe this belief. The one that when you think about it, you feel that belief lock into place. Next, please think of counterexamples. Times when the opposite of your limiting belief was true. If your belief is, I'm not good enough, find times when you felt so free and whole that the very idea of being good enough or not good enough was irrelevant. If it's I can't make money doing something I enjoy, find times when you did. What internal resources were you accessing during those moments? Maybe it was joy, determination, or authenticity. Identify at least 3 resources that made those positive experiences possible. The next part of the process is where the magic happens. Imagine sliding back on the timeline of your life to just before that major negative experience, the one that influenced you so strongly to believe the limiting belief you want to dissolve. But this time, bring those resources with you, the 3 resources. Please also use the structure of your flow state that you modeled. Bring all of it, the brightness, the colors, and the resourcefulness. I'm going to invite you to stay immersed in this resourceful state as you move forward on your timeline. Let this new perspective shift all of your experiences as you pass through them. Notice how it changes how you feel and think. When you get to that negative experience you singled out, notice what happens. It can't stay the same anymore, can it? It shifts instantly. What becomes possible now? What do you do differently? How does it change your belief? The next part of this is that as you keep moving forward up your timeline, spreading resources throughout your history until you arrive at the present. Now, see your future self step out in front of you. What do you look like 1 year from now after living this resourceful state? What have you accomplished? What do you believe about yourself? The next part of the process is to check for resistance. When you see that future you, is there any part of you that objects? Any resistance to becoming that person? If so, address it. Ask that part what it wants for you. What is its positive intention? Then integrate that intention into your vision of your future self. Keep doing this until there's no more resistance. And then finally, ask yourself what it's like to believe this new belief instead of the old limiting belief. Notice the difference. This process doesn't just work for limiting beliefs only. It works for any experience where you're still judging yourself. Maybe there's a decision you made years ago that you still regret. Perhaps there's something you did that you can't forgive yourself for. Single out that moment on your timeline. Gather your positive template and resources from your flow state and slide back into time to before the incident. Then run the process just like you would for a limiting belief. Some resources you may need are love, connection, and compassion. This process can work as long as one puts the effort in to repeating this process in a calm, strategic manner. Feel free to do this meditation as many times as you like until you achieve your desired result. I'd love to hear from you, so drop me a line. Namaste.